The Chicago Bulls in their first preseason game looked all right. I ain't gonna lie to you. And Coby White was the starting point guard. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into that. And then go into some other key takeaways regarding offense, defense, and what do I think about the team thus far. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. But you gotta hear the music first. Cognac gang. Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on another episode of Shy Bulls podcast with me and my co-host C-Dub. If you like what you're listening to today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so every time we drop, you'll be one of the first ones to know. Now, yesterday, the Chicago Bulls in the early afternoon had their first preseason game against the Milwaukee Bucks where they lost by 3 points, 105-102 against the Milwaukee Bucks. We thought we was going to see Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame Dollar, but no. The Bucks said, we're going to sit him down for preseason game one. But nonetheless, we were still able to look at the Chicago Bulls starting lineup and some of the reserves and still have some takeaways from this game. You know what I'm saying? Just for starters, I want to go ahead and talk about Coby White and him being in place as the starting point guard. Me personally, it looked pretty damn good. Coach Billy Donovan already came out and said that no one has separated themselves as being the candidate for the starting point guard position. So right now, Coby White had his opportunity. I will imagine that Javon Carter and Ayo Dosunmu will have their opportunity to prove that they are worthy enough of that starting spot. And even one thing that I liked, even if one of those guys does not become the starter, I still believe that the said player that is not the starting point guard will have a lot of opportunities to prove that they are still solid role players and still can go out and contribute to the team. But back to Coby White. Coby White in 23 minutes of action had 10 shots. That's more than anybody else in the starting lineup. My man's went 6 out of 10 from the field, from the painted area, and then he went 2 for 5 from the 3-point line, ending his day +3 in the plus minus for my plus minus guys out there that love that. 14 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. Coby White looked like he really has developed, and he's now coming into his own. There was some, mistakes there to where he had notched up 2 turnovers, but overall, I still like what he was able to do. He was still able to, go on a pick and roll with Nikola Vucevic. Though one of those plays did result in a turnover, it was still interesting to see that Coby White was kind of taking this, time with things, letting things develop a little bit, setting up other guys. And then when the team needed a bucket or the ball ended up back in his hands, he was able to go ahead and put the ball in the basket. You know what I'm saying? From the 3-point line, going 2 for 5, as mentioned before, and then also getting some easy opportunities at the basket by driving to the basket. And you've seen that the last 2 off seasons have been major for Coby White. Man, the handle is looking good. The defensive intensity is looking good. The communication on the offensive end is looking good. Him being a threat as a 3-point shooter and then still having other things, other tools in his tool bag offensively is definitely going to be something to pay attention to for games and games to come. Overall, I think that the offense looked really damn good. As far as pace, you know what I'm saying? As far as pace, 3-point shooting or whatnot, the Chicago Bulls shot a total of 35 3-pointers on the day. Not a great shooting percentage from there, you know what I'm saying? But they did go 13 out of 35 for 37%. That was better than the Milwaukee Bucks, even though the Bulls lost. The Milwaukee Bucks on that day, they went 10. Yesterday went 10 out of 33 for 30%. So the Bulls had the edge up in the 3-point shooting battle, and the offense looked pretty damn good. Things were moving around a lot. A lot of things was moving and happening fast. They a lot of the times when they were getting rebounds, they was pushing the pace. One thing that I really, really enjoyed seeing was Patrick Williams not hesitate in yesterday's game. There was one play to where my man literally grabbed the rebound, came right down on the other end on the offensive side of the ball, and knocked the ball and knocked down a jump shot that was really, really good to see from Patrick Williams, because that's something that we don't typically see. So I got to show love right there in that regard. The Chicago Bulls, man, they had 11 steals. You know what I'm saying? To start the game, I believe in the first half, they ended the first half with 7 steals. And at that time, the Milwaukee Bucks had 2. The game ended with 11 versus 8 when it came to the steals, but you still like what you seen out there. I would say that Nikola Vucevic, you know, he kind of struggled a little bit. He only shot at the ball 3 times, and I definitely feel like he had a lot of opportunities to do so, but he only shot 1 for 3 from the field, and then 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. Ended the night with 4 points in 17 minutes. And that's expected in preseason game 1. So I'm not going to sit here and castigate this guy off one preseason game, because I definitely want to see consistency from him, especially with all the comments that has been coming out of his mouth this offseason and things like that. But overall, I like what I've seen out of my players and what they were able to do for the Chicago Bulls. And I tell you what, now if we're talking about a defensive end, it's going to get real frisky around here. They're going to be definitely doing their thing. And on the defensive end, that lineup of Coby White, Javon Carter, Patrick Williams, and Andre Drummond, and man, that's going to be a defensive front that's going to be nasty. I think it's going to be nasty, because now you got so many options, and on the court at the same time, you got 2 ball handlers that can go ahead and handle the ball, and then you allow Patrick Williams to have a little bit more freedom within that lineup. I think that's going to be something very, very nice. I would say that there might be some consideration to keep DeMar and Zach out there, but for the most part, when they're running that lineup, you know they're going to be out there wreaking havoc on the opposing teams defensively for sure. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Williams had one of those possessions with that lineup out there, and he literally had the defender in clamps. He was locked up, and they wouldn't let him out. P. Will forced a shot clock violation on that play, you know what I'm saying, with his incredible defense, and that was a lot of good things to take away from that. To end, I would say, look, man, Coby White, he still got some ways to go for sure. He definitely still got some ways to go for sure. I would love to see him continuously do it. I believe that there is nothing that has come out yet that says that he's not going to be starting, but I would expect that Billy Donovan will eventually lend out starts to the other guys that's in the competition to see how well they play with the starting unit. I believe Javon Carter, he did an excellent job. In his time, as a reserve for this particular game. My guy was able to come in 16 minutes of play, shoot 3 for 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from the 3-point line, and give you 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. So you can't even be mad at that. You got to give it to him. Hey, he still came out there and competed. And Ayo Dosunmu, first few baskets, he was like, oh, Ayo, what you doing? But it seemed like he kind of got like a nice little feel of the game, had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists as well. So these guys are really competing, and it's good to see. I'm anxious to see how Coby White looks with the second unit. To be honest with you, I want to see, can he keep up this play? Can he take command of whoever he's playing with? Because I believe that will be, the parameters that we can go ahead and decide, hey, is Coby White really developing as a point guard? We had the news pretty much saying like, hey, Coby White has exclusively been on ball. Now, when he's not a starter, he's able to operate a little bit more with the second unit. Will he still have that same type of command? That's the one thing I want to see. Will he still be able to set guys up, have an impact, score when he needs to, or when the team needs a bucket, or help other guys get easy buckets? I want to see, has he developed in that area? And I expect Javon Carter in the next game to be the starter. And then Ayo Dosunmu, can you continue to just fill in and be a good player in your role for now? Because his opportunity will come. He has experience as a starting point guard as well. I would like to believe, hey, he can, he can put his words up in this competition and and that's the greatest thing when you have competition. You give it and you get to see. these grown men, these good basketball players, go ahead and compete for a starting spot to see who should rightfully be the starter for the team. And I hope whoever that starting spot is given to, they don't give up that spot. Once you get it, you got to keep it. And I think that's what's going to be a big thing for me. And I want to see consistency from whoever that starter may be. And then I know that Billy Donovan, just another tidbit, Billy Donovan definitely tapped into Torrey Craig and Patrick Williams a little bit, and staggering their minutes a little bit, pulling Patrick Williams out early within yesterday's game, inserting Torrey Craig, and he instantly came in and had an impact. And then Patrick Williams was able to start the second quarter with the second unit, and that was pretty damn nice. You know what I'm saying? I believe that was pretty nice because you allow Patrick Williams to have an impact and be more free to see if he can eclipse that next step, or we can really, really determine on what he's going to be as a player moving forward. And I think that when Torrey Craig came in early for Patrick Williams and having that impact, that allows the Chicago Bulls to just continue to have versatile lineups that make sense. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And then you still got to tweak stuff. It's preseason game 1. We can't answer all the questions right now, and especially because it's only the preseason. I think the questions start to get answered once the regular season hits and these guys get within their first 25 games, and then you can properly start to gauge how this team is going to look, how they're going to play, how they're going to fare against other opponents, and how they're going to go about their business this season. I believe all this good competition is great, especially because now they got the defense, and you see that they're really trying to harp on the offensive action. Billy Donovan came out and said, hey, we know what Vooch is going to give us. We know what DeMar is going to give us. We know what Zach is going to give us. But we got to have other guys in place, because if they're just the ones that's going to give us something, we're going to be 24th ranked offense. Those are his words, and he was right on the money. So he wants to go ahead and incorporate some more off-ball action with the other guys to get things involved and open up shots. You got a corner 3 from DeMar DeRozan. That was pretty damn nice. It was within the flow of the offense, and that's all you can ask for. I'm looking at DeMar DeRozan going ahead and shooting about 3 to 5 threes per game. He only shot 1 this game, but it was within the flow of the offense. I'm not mad at it. But there will be some times to where he get more opportunities to take those threes. You want to see him take those threes if the opportunity presents itself. We don't want to force the issue because he's still spectacular in the mid-range. So you got to give it to him. Overall, good first preseason game, even though it ended in a loss. It is what it is. Y'all let me know down below how y'all feeling about Coby White in preseason game 1. Did he do enough? How you looking at it? What are your expectations moving forward on to game number 2 of the preseason? Hit me below. Let me know what you're thinking. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to call in, that number is 773-242-9219. It's another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Cognac. Gang.